Listen to how good this thing sounds. No more lopey cam. Oh my goodness. Do you hear that? What is up, everybody? In today's video we are going to get the E30 running a lot better and hopefully go for a first test drive today. All that in today's episode. My name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Let's get into it. So in the last video we tore down the K2482 and we have parts scattered everywhere. If you guys missed that video, go ahead and go watch that because it was super interesting and I am very excited to see this thing and put it back together. So I need to order a whole bunch of parts, head gaskets, ARP head studs, and all that jazz. But for today we are going to focus on the E30 and I'm going to show you guys what I figured out. So a few videos ago we got the CAN Lambda hooked up and we were able to read the air to fuel ratio and we were able to see that it was running at a 0.6 lambda, which is super rich if you guys don't know. So it was just dumping so much fuel. Anyways, I pulled up the fuel table, tried to pull out 10%, didn't do anything. I pulled out another 10% and another 10% and nothing changed. The lambda was still at a 0.6. So at that point I realized that it wasn't an issue with the fuel table. The car just wasn't responding to anything. So that made me think that it was an issue with the settings. So I went through, watched a couple videos. I'm still learning with all of this stuff and I realized that it was a settings issue with the fuel injectors. With that being said, you have to set up your injectors properly and I didn't. So my master fuel is set at 5 milliseconds and basically that's the pulse width that the fuel is actually dumping into the cylinder. So what was happening is the pulse width for the fuel injector was open for too long and it was squirting too much fuel in. So no matter what I did to the actual fuel equation, it didn't change because the injector was just staying open for too long. Anyways, that was causing it to run super rich and incorrectly. So after changing this fuel setting, you can see that it actually takes out some of the fuel and actually makes an adjustment, which is super good. So since the car had so much fuel, it was just dumping and running at a really low idle. But if we check this out and go, you can see it's not as bouncy. So you can see super high idle. That's what it's supposed to be running like. Maybe even less than. Look how smooth that is. So since the idle control valve isn't actually changing and adjusting, all that's happening is it's just pulling in extra air and not reading properly and then not running right. So you guys can hear just how much better that sounded and that's just with like the most basic kind of adjustments. Okay, like I said, just for right now we are just going to put a cap on it, so that should help. It sounds a lot better. It's still running a bit rich, but we are going to pull it out. You can see just how much smoother the idle is. Like I said, it's still running a bit rich, but overall, like, this is what it's supposed to sound like. So, much better. We are idling at around 900, 910. And that just like feels so much better. We'll see how it's actually driving. There is a squeaky belt. I don't know if it's the belt or the pulleys. There is a bit of like noise and vibration. It's still running at a 0.7 lambda, but it sounds a lot better. So I think that there's still stuff to change. It used to get to the point where at like 2000 RPM, it was actually like sputtering and not happy. But, oh, it feels so good to drive this car. I had a subscriber who was messaging me asking about the actual sound of the car and if the 3-inch is too loud for a street car. And honestly, I don't think that it's too bad. Sorry, those brakes are super touchy right now. Everything is just a little bit raw and trying to get like back to that point and trying to figure out how the car feels since so much was changed. The noise and vibration is a little bit high, but nothing compared to the M42. It actually feels a little bit quiet considering that it has the 3-inch. I know that everybody was kind of a little bit nervous about how aggressive that was going to sound, and I don't know, I think the car feels really good. I'm going to park it and let it get a heat cycle in. So like I said, this idle feels so much better to actually work with, and I realized that the idle was actually set a little bit low, so I raised it. It was kind of stalling once it actually warmed up, but now it's running and it sounds how it's supposed to. Sorry, neighbors. It sounds good. We still need to actually look at the map and get everything dialed in. But officially the first good drive. Again, no more lopiness. It smells a lot better. And we are nice and calm, idle, no misfires. Sounds good. And you can see that we're right at like 900 RPM, which is a good place to be at. Okay, so you guys can hear just how much better the car sounds after fixing this issue in the settings. I always knew that it was some sort of settings type of issue, but now we can see that it actually fixed it. So now we are at a good place to start messing with the fuel tables and get it running right. It is still running very rich, but we fixed the idling issue and found that our idle control valve isn't working properly. I still need to do a ton of work and research on the car to figure out this whole tuning business. But I think that we are at a very good spot and the car is actually running a lot better. Since the idling is actually fixed, we can go back and make sure that everything is good and make sure that everything is running properly now that it doesn't have this weird idling lopiness issue. So I am so much happier with how the car actually feels and how it sounds. The lopiness was just getting to me and I couldn't understand why it was sounding like that, right? Because it's a stock 4-cylinder, basically nothing is done to the internals. I honestly am just super excited to drive the E30 again and actually get it roadworthy. So I think from here on out we need to focus on the actual drivability and then focus on actually doing road tuning, tuning the VVT table and the fuel table and trying to get those to work properly and efficiently. But it is only up from here and I appreciate you guys so much for all of your support on the build. and all the support on the channel. Welcome to everybody who is brand new, and I hope you guys are excited as I am. And until next time, my name is Ryan. This is Project Race Car. Have an amazing day. Peace.